OpenAI specifically with their event coming up. I'm kind of curious whether or not they just straight up announce the Apple thing right out of the gate. So we'll see when that happens this morning. Lots of rumors floating around that Apple, quote unquote, very close to a deal with OpenAI to get ChatGPT on the next generation of iPhones. So Apple higher, Google downside a little bit on that news this morning. Still working out their Gemini issues, of course. We'll touch on Microsoft and Apple coming up here, but bigger story, I guess. It's hard to say that, but here's GME this morning, 37% right now to the upside. Nice little uptick right now at 8:30. A little bit of volume coming in there up to $24 on the return of Roaring Kitty. Sharif.
Yes.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. Yep. Got to the Jays game on Friday, and then we took out for Mama's Day yesterday. Some nice dessert there, so it was good. But yeah, Roaring Kitty, first time active since 2021. Breno, here we go again. Yeah, and AMC up instantly as well. Yeah, so good luck there.
Yeah, lots to talk about this morning, lots to look forward to coming up this week. We get not one, but two doses of inflation data, both PPI and April CPI coming up this week. So the latest indication of how the overall economy is doing. But if you look at this chart, market doesn't care at this point because we are just a stone throws away here from all-time highs once again for the NASDAQ. I mean, not a huge move this morning. I think it's about 0.25% right now for the NASDAQ specifically. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's 37% right now for GME, 13% right now for AMC. SoundCloud up 3% this morning. Not really related, but one to watch out for as well. But lots of the Bitcoin equities to the upside here this morning also.
Yeah, Bitcoin reclaiming that level over the weekend. Brenda, we saw an aggressive sell-off last week, and we saw notable ETF outflows. So IBIT and some of the other spot ETFs all had net negative outflows on Friday. We'll have to see how they do today. But I'm looking here in the mining names, Coinbase, MicroStrategy's, all green, Brenda.
Yeah, lots to consider here. Just looking at Canadian building permits coming through there at 8:30. Again, the bigger, there are a few Fed speakers coming up today as well to keep in mind, but the biggest economic data going to be Wednesday with CPI. We get PPI tomorrow ahead of that, which is usually the other way around. So happy meme stock Monday, guys.
Meme stock Monday. Why not, man? Like, back to it.
Finally.
It's been a hot minute, man. Carvana did like the heavy lifting like all of last year.
Carvana's been around.
All by itself, and then AMC did absolutely nothing. What's interesting is
AMC did lots of stuff.
The actual tweet by Roaring Kitty, like the picture. Zach Morris tried to tweet the same thing out a few days ago to get AMC to go, and it just didn't work. So it goes to show it matters. GameStop gonna make, there it is. I think the only difference was like a different color or something like that. I think he had like blue or whatever, but it's the same nonsense. Yeah. You got to lean in when you're locked and loaded and ready to go. And apparently GameStop is ready to go. It broke through. All last week we're in this name trading because the volatility was there, the volume was there. Now all of a sudden you've got even more eyeballs on it. Some traders on the floor already talking about it, and some options interest around like that 35. But it's going to be a spicy one. We get an OpenAI event at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and that should be interesting. We'll keep our ear to the ground for that. Apple's still on the move. That looks pretty strong as well. You have Jefferies upgrading a bunch of chip names, and then ARM's coming out with their AI thing. They look pretty strong for a long post their earnings as well. So feeling pretty good. I know Brendan just mentioned the Q's near the highs, but the S&P is even closer to their all-time high. Everything is the market's looking pretty strong right now. It's hard to complain. Even Alibaba's gapping up again.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple of podcasts ago about buying the Dow Jones and the diamonds, and it's 8 straight up days for that. You know what we also do have? I'm in GameStop right now. I got to get a tea for my throat here. And here it goes, 24.30, nice upside move. We're long at $24 here right now. I feel like you got to be looking here. It's cheap to borrow. It's basically free. You just got to get the shares in our system. So right now we're long on GameStop and long on life because, bless you, we're ready to rock and roll. Sticky note's almost out. I'm going to get a honey. I'm going to get a tea and a honey and open it up, put it in there. and get this all figured out. But right now, 24.30 for GameStop and moving higher. Got Apple on my mind, got a little bit of ARM Holdings on my mind as well, coming through with some more AI talk. It should be a heck of another day, man. I mean, it doesn't stop around here. You know, you get one thing one day with something else the next day.
Yes, sir.
This is the best thing about this job, and we talk about that all the time. Lots of variety of spice. If that's the spice of your life, then you get it in the stock market every single day. It's like
That's the hard truth right there.
You know.
I'm assuming everything went, good weekend. Obviously, if you're yelling
everything.
a bunch for
Every weekend. I mean, every weekend's a great weekend. Spent $1,000 in hockey equipment yesterday, so that was a lot of fun.
Gotta get new digs.
And then spent more money, of course, at the wedding, so that was a lot of fun as well. So that's why we're here, ready to make hopefully some of that back right now. Daughter needed new skates, and when you're
Was there a themed drink for the wedding that you were talking?
Oh, they had old fashions, so you would have liked that. There was, and then there was Aperol Spritz, which was just something that they were passing around.
Sorry, I like.
I was going with the champagne early, and then they had espresso martinis. So
Well, I mean, that's,
come on, forget about it, So we were doing that kind of stuff, and then we were going on that. We were on the rooftop patio for a while. This is how we're doing it.
That's good.
Like we're not. I'm not just going out just to do the, whatever. When we go out properly. Anyways, thanks for all the super chats that are coming through. Look, we'll be analyzing the Qs. We'll be analyzing all of that. I'm with you already, Michel Hebert, who wants to know all about GameStop. I'm in GameStop right now and don't plan on leaving it. So honestly, how low could it go? Like whatever amount of money, whatever. We'll figure it out, right? We're going to be YOLOing, right? So no, look out for some levels. I have it written down here. I mean, $20 is pretty easy. There's going to be a lot of outs, I feel like. I don't think this is a halt kind of thing today.
No.
I just, I think there's going to be a lot of interest around it, and I feel like it'll be risky to short it until we finally find someone that wants to do that, right? And it might happen here in the pre-market. You might go down on light volume. But I just really think that the best part about GameStop, is today going to be the opportunities for either to play both ends of it. So we'll try to stay long early here. And then, run through these some of these levels and see if we can hit it. You were mentioning 30, 35, so on and so forth as people look at the different option chains, and we'll just figure out what's going on. So we're getting ready to rock and roll. Thank you, Mr. Westermeyer, and we will talk about more of these names as we get going. Plus, do we have Michael Noss normally on Mondays? So
think so.
That should be exciting. We'll see what he thinks. I'm sure he loves GME. He was hating on AMC for the right reasons, and now we'll wait to see what happens here. But yeah, we're excited. Let's go back to the desk.
There's a small difference.
I saw on Friday even he was maintaining his support at 0 for AMC on
I would
on
hope
Twitter.
so.
Michael Loss coming up here in a second. He sent me a note this morning with one word, and it was gold.
Okay.
I guess he wants to talk about gold. There's some positivity in semiconductor land this morning as well. A little bit of a gap to the upside for most of these. That's NVIDIA, AMD, similar as well. Even Intel, there was a couple of noteworthy mentions here for Intel. They're nearing an $11 billion deal with Apollo for an Ireland facility. So Apollo going to fund the company with $11 billion to build this out.
I mean, there's just more spending from Intel. We know that they're going to spend about $100 billion between 4 different states to build out these foundries. Add a new one to the list here, Brendo, out in Europe. We'll have to see how this all pans out. Apollo trades, by the way, on the New York Stock Exchange under AAPL. They're basically an asset management company looking to invest here with the Intel. Also, KKR set to also be possibly in on this deal.
Yeah, the other end of the spectrum here, Jefferies with a positive note on basically the rest of the group. So, as I mentioned, a little bit of positivity. Intel, the biggest, I guess, at this point, guys.
For now, I'd be a little surprised. If we end up with an update in the market and Intel up 1% is the best of the chip names, I will be a little bit surprised by that notion. That said, for them specifically, like it, don't like it, doesn't really matter. It's just the $30 level, I think, again today. It's already put in that earnings bottom and then held. I always say after earnings, if you put in a double bottom, it starts to look a little bit better. And the higher low was put in right there at 29.80. So another higher low puts you at that 30. Obviously, 29.80 is the bigger level that has to hold on. But let's be real. I mean, NVIDIA gets an upgrade from Jefferies. They're also up, okay, 0.93%. So Intel was what, like a fraction better? The last dip on, look, you had one chance to get these guys after earnings, and that was pretty much it. You're back above the 50, you're trending back higher, looking like it wants to finally take out and close above 910 and get going here. Every single time this has gotten to $910, it's been a reverse. You know, it's just reverse, 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 reverse. Today, I mean, it's Monday. Why not start the week with a break there? I like it. I like the 900 level for like the buy zone, like a dip buy zone. But you know, if it sets up that patented breakout trade, fail break at the open, pop into 920, pull back, don't break the low, and then double top anywhere in near there, I think that sets it up on NVIDIA. But the 900 levels where we close, I think that all roads lead to dip buying into NVIDIA first at that particular price. We'll talk a little bit about ARM. They're in the watch list specifically for their own reasons. But NVIDIA, this should be the day that 910 can actually hold.
Yeah, we were NVIDIA a lot last week. I think there's a good opportunity today to get that back. We had a couple days with $10 winners on this name, and they did involve shorting up here into 912. Last week we had this 912 short right there. And then it fell into 895. We had it on Friday as well. So yeah, there is some support, some resistance up here. But yeah, I'm going to be looking long today to see if NVIDIA can hold into 895. So something like that, 900, something, you know, I really like these levels here for NVIDIA. So let's see what happens. But yeah, that's going to be my chip play. Not super excited about Intel. I mean, when we trade it and we generally make money. So I'm fine with doing that. We did have a great trade on it last week, again to the short side. So all I want to do for this is short. I don't want to go long Intel. So I'll probably be waiting for 3050s, 31s. Like if we can really get going for some reason there, if it wants to go up a couple percentage points, I feel like if the market does ever turn around, which it's not doing right now, then Intel will be one of the ones that gets picked on the most. So we'll be looking for that, and then just to see what AMC is doing. We got more shares, by the way, of GameStop, and right now AMC is 3 and change, up 14. So this is going to be, you know, if you don't believe in all this meme stuff, I would short this one because you know this being up on nothing is a little bit different than this being up on something. So we'll wait to see what happens here. Just took more shares of GameStop. We're ready to go. And I hope you guys are as well. So back over to the desk.
All right, we'll wait on Mr. Noss. He's on his way. Market back to almost session highs here now, 0.25% for the S&P. The NASDAQ following suit here as well. This is a pretty wild-looking wick on this chart, but Apple up 1.25% here. Again, this OpenAI event coming up today, but we'll probably hear about it throughout the entire day. I wouldn't be surprised if there was details coming out throughout the day, even before this happens. But do they or do they not just right out of the gate say, hey, we're going to be on iPhones?
I feel like it's going to happen. I mean, Altman was doing the rounds on the weekend. He was on the All In podcast. He had good things to say, but the iPhone, which caught my attention, and then I come in this morning, and all of a sudden there's an Apple headline. So we'll have to wait and see about that. He was on there for an hour. It was a very interesting interview. Go back and have a listen to that. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what we get. But it's not only OpenAI that Apple's been talking to. Last week or the week prior to that, we heard rumblings about them wanting to incorporate Gemini, Google Gemini, in certain aspects of their system. Widely expected there's going to be AI upgrades to iOS 18. Expected at WWDC, Brendan?
Yeah, remember we have this I/O event for Google coming up as well, just around the corner here. So this doesn't actually show the gap, but gapping higher here, guys. 1.25 right now for Apple.
Yeah, remember like on Friday, like Apple essentially just gave up the entire move from Thursday. So at the end of the day, like you're just right back to where it seems like everything, I want to say ended, but that's where it started on Friday. Because when you had that news, you're going to find resistance at 185. I love the fact, look, obviously everyone's going to be waiting around for June. And that's when things are going to get real for Apple, when we get some real nuts and bolts. But integration in the iPhone, everybody knows that's a big deal. Their own AI chip, that's been sort of long time coming as well. But the stock went from the penalty box to now you got a nice little bull flag. This is not going to go meme crazy or anything. Apple's not going to trade like that. Let's be real. But if you're holding at 50 and now you're starting to break back out those tops, 185, as long as we can hold that, there's that crazy wick Brendan was talking about there. That's a dark pool wick. If you got 165 today, you're absolutely laughing. 185 has to hold. If we don't hold 185, the only other long I'm interested in would be right down and in that previous close price at 183. So it's going to be a very early test of a key level, resistance and a support. That's one of my favorite things out there, is when you have a key brick wall, it gets punched through, and then the buyers are like, yeah, that's where we're going to pick that one up. I think that's where you look today on Apple. I'm looking for the long in them. The only the only big level out there in terms of resistance is that 187 that got put in. I guess that was like on the 3rd there. So Apple looks pretty good for a long. I like them over Google today. I mean, Google looking a little bit weak, or Alphabet looking a little bit weak. Their event's on Tuesday. That's going to be one to watch. And the good news about that is we're going to already have the OpenAI event today, and then we'll see what Google has in store for theirs.
So on Friday, we did a Q&A on, of course, everybody's favorite show. I think it's also Michael's favorite show. We can ask him. He's going to be on very, very soon. The market recap show, where Adara and I had a Q&A, and someone asked me, what sector do I like over the next couple months? And I said gold. So we came into that. I like the pullback into this level, 215, 210, 212, right there. And I didn't, no problem. This was not expected. I had no idea. I hope Michael talks positively about GLD and not the other way around. But I was thinking taking advantage of even just the recent pullback, and let alone maybe even today as we just starting to, be flat. But I like gold. Let me hear why with Michael. But we've got already on right now another one of our favorites here on the show. We've got GameStop right now trying to take out close to back into highs. We just averaged in, man. So let's see what happens here with GameStop. So from GameStop to gold, pick your poison here. As there goes GME right now. We're starting the day off real good. But hey, it is a day that ends in Y. Let's go back over to the desk as it's... This is the loudest it's going to be in here today, I feel like.
I feel like it's a little
let's go. Everyone's excited for Mr. Nos.
2 thumbs up.
I don't know what's doing this, but
There it is. Hey.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a Mac thing or what's going on.
Built in AI. Happy Monday, sir. I was just reading a note suggesting that NVIDIA and gold, the 2 best hedges against inflation so far this year, if you zoom out to a higher time frame chart. But yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, it was great leading into the end of the year, and it's been great ever since. So give us your thoughts here on gold.
Yeah, I feel like a boomer here because you guys are talking about AI and Apple and chips and all this stuff, and I'm here looking at gold. So first of all, this scan that I'm bringing you, this is something that's near and dear to my heart because I built this, and this is a relative strength system. We've back tested this against many market conditions. It held up great through the last bear market. It held up great during the pandemic. Continues to outperform just the market overall. And the idea here is it's just using a series of indicators that you guys all know, MACDs and moving averages and RSIs and things like that. And it's ranking stocks by this combination of indicators that I put together. And it's saying, this is the strongest stuff and this is the weakest stuff. And the idea is, if you buy the strongest stuff, you generally outperform the market. I think it's JC that always told me, he said, hey, if you want to be in the strongest stocks, just buy the strongest stocks, right? And the beauty of this and the power that we have at Trade Ideas is it's constantly doing this every 30 seconds and just spitting out over and over and over again what it's thinking by all of these indicators that are ranked. Again, this is looking at a swing or even longer term time frame. And I just highlighted a few right here because the top one was PHYS, which I'm going to talk about, is a very special and something that my buddy Steve likes as a gold ETF. I AUM is another gold ETF. OUNZ is another gold ETF. So it was just printing gold after gold after gold. And to be honest, a lot of you guys who've been following the show for a long time know that I've liked gold for the last year, 2 years now. But seeing all of these show up on this scanner, that's telling me a couple things. One, it's saying, hey, gold is really strong right now. We should take another look at it. But B, it means that there's some institutional money flowing into gold. I don't know if that means, like Brendan was talking about, more inflation or what's going on there, but it means that's where the guys are going. So back to chart here. We'll go to the monthly chart of gold. This is the main reason why I like gold. I know we're day traders or short-term swing traders, but I always like to take a step back. This is the chart that I've been looking at for a long time. This giant cup and handle going all the way back to 2012. Talked about this many times with Sean on what is my favorite show, the After Hours show, talking about how we're looking to have this breakout occur. It did, and this is where we are. Now, if you do a measured move of this cup and handle, which is just the low of the cup to the high of the breakout, that takes us to like 350, I think, ish in the GLD index. We still have a long way to go. Doesn't mean we're going to hold it all that time. It means we're going to focus on the long side until maybe that objectives occur. Into the weekly chart, next chart down, same kind of thing occurred. Before we got that breakout, we had this big cup. We had a clearly defined resistance area. We broke that as well. And now let's get into the daily chart and see what's going on kind of currently. Gold had that spike, had a great trade, and now for the longest time has just been chopping sideways here. So what I like about this is these purple lines, I'll explain them. The bottom one is from the breakout. We had a high volume breakout. I anchored a VWAP there. And then I also anchored a VWAP at what's the all-time highs. As long as it's under that anchored VWAP from all-time highs, I'm not really interested in it because we have that overhead supply that I think could be a problem. We had a breakout on Friday. I haven't really had a chance to look at it right now, but we had this breakout on Friday. So my idea is that as long as we can hold that anchored VWAP, which is sitting around, I think 217, 216, basically Thursday's high. As long as we can hold above that, I like the look of gold and I want to focus towards gold. And there's a couple things, couple stocks that we can look at as well. If you don't want to just buy the index, there's nothing wrong, especially with a commodity, just buying the index. If you want to go in and look under the hood, here's some names that are interesting. So the next chart is actually this PHYS. And I didn't know this. Steve, who was covering me a bit when I was away there, actually taught me this one. So this is good, I think, if you're trying to hold this for the very long term. So the difference between PHYS and GLD is PHYS, you pay a little bit more in management fees, but they have independent third auditors that they go in. They actually have a vault somewhere. That's why it's called the Physical Gold Trust. So people go in, they look at the bars, they make sure that the amount of gold that this company says it has is confirmed, and they do that check periodically. So if you want to make sure that some sort of crazy inflation or disaster or whatever, that you're actually buying something that they have gold on the other end, this is the way to go. I'm just assuming that they're probably going to charge you a little bit more to do that, but this is good, especially for the doomsdayer out there. So just a couple of charts that I like. Again, if I like the commodity, I'm going to look at some of the miners and people who may profit off that commodity going higher, and I'm going to sort those by relative strength. So here we have AGI, which is Alamos Gold, nice Canadian company. You can see the Canadian flag up there. Nice little breakout of this 1550 area, just a very simple wedge type pattern. Broke that. I'm looking to see if it holds that area. Neil was talking about it when I was in the green room. I love when an area gets broken and it comes back and tests that as support and that holds. I think that's great. And then last but not least, here we have CDE. So this is a little bit of a cheaper one. Just broke out the other day. That yellow horizontal line or yellow vertical line is the earnings date. So we've broken out. That earnings date was obviously strong, pushed up, and we broke that on this mining stock. I picked this one because it's a little bit cheaper. It's $5 a share. I know there's some people out there who like the cheaper names. This might be one to take a look at.
On these charts, as you've mentioned many times, that bottom left corner, you get that monthly look.
Yeah.
I mean, 200%, this one 90%. If you go into the individual equities, like these have had huge, huge moves here in the past little while.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone focuses on Nvidia. Everyone focuses on the chip names. I actually saw a chart that I thought I forgot to bring. I thought it was funny, showing you that like I think it was Domino's Pizza has actually outperformed Nvidia in the long run. So sometimes it makes sense to look at stuff in the headlines, and sometimes it makes sense to kind of hunt elsewhere. And sometimes you get these quiet trends that other people aren't really talking about.
You'll never be pizza, man. Like, come on, it's pizza.
Exactly.
Great stuff. Thank you, Mr. Noss. Happy Monday. We'll speak again after the close.
All right, I'll talk to you then.
Yeah, no, like there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's 100% true. Like if you're looking for trading opportunities, you can't just look in one spot, right? Like today, there's going to be a lot of meme stocks moving, and maybe some Chinese ADRs, and obviously, when the chip names are going, they've been the hot flavor. AI's been a big deal. You're essentially just following. I don't want to say following the crowd, but you want to be riding the right wave. Now, obviously, you can pick any starting point and be like, oh, this stock has done better than that stock, or yada, yada, yada. But you also have to find your comfort zone. I think that's really important. And remember, day trading, swing trading is always going to be a little bit different, right? Like one of the reasons why day traders are going to like NVIDIA on a daily basis has a lot to do with volume and liquidity. On a day like today, where GameStop is going to do extra volume and volatility, you don't mind going over there because you have the expectation that you're going to be able to express your trades well. AMC, which has done absolutely nothing, has already done like 7 million shares. It's going to do more volume today. Like that's why you gravitate towards it. So it's not a knock on Domino's Pizza. It's great long term and probably a good opportunity for some swing trades. For day trading, it's not a stock that you're usually going to be able to get into. So we also have to have that extra factor, which is going to be liquidity. I've been basically trying to get locates. We keep getting a quote on them here at Real Trading of like less than 1 cent a share that I want to lock in for AMC. And we talked about this one last week, and I know Sean mentioned as well. The 50 period's been an absolute brick wall. And if GameStop continues to go higher and this can't get past like 360 and 375, I think that's going to be the easy fade. I always like in Memeville, I want there to be the one that's moving it, and then I want something that I want to play in the other direction when you have fades. And then that way, if GameStop is falling and breaking down, you can just be short over an AMC, or it used to be COS, but COS's volume is so, the COS is gonna go and it'll be up just 100% on sympathy, like it was one of the meme stocks back then, and now it has no business, I don't think, being in that category. The issue with this is going to be liquidity. So I think there's liquidity on AMC to be able to express those trades. I'm not sure we're going to find it over there on cost, which used to be my go-to. Let's get on over to some upgrades and downgrades with Adara.
Lots of interesting names to talk about this week. We're starting with a pre-earnings play. Cisco getting an upgrade here from XA and BNP Paribas. Jefferies now upgrading both AMD and NVIDIA as part of its overall bullish long-term upgrade for the semiconductor sector. AMD getting a price target decrease, though, from 200 to 190, while NVIDIA got a price target increase from 780 to 1200. So nice look for both of these names. MasterCard getting an upgrade as well from Piper Sandler. For the downgrades, this is another one from Jefferies Financial and its overall look at the semiconductors. Applied Materials getting the downgrade out of the group. Penn Entertainment getting a downgrade from BofA Securities here, trading a bit lower. Solar Edge also gapping down a little bit after this downgrade from Susquehanna. Last but not least, we have actually Equity Residential getting a downgrade from Evercore ISI, guys.
AMD catching that upgrade. Look, a lot of things got shellacked on Friday, but AMD held the bottom end of this range, like whatever you want to call that. I guess it's like a bear flag, I guess is the name of that term. So that's what it put on. 152, is that correct? I guess that's correct. I said it right there, Sharif. There you go. Well, I know what a bull flag looked like, so I guess it's just the reverse. What it tells you is just a consolidation and a downward pattern. And 152.5 was a wall all afternoon. That's where the short was. It was a good one. And now all of a sudden, you have the same high pre-market on an upgrade into a strong market. I just think this one, it sets up pretty well here. Like if it's just going to take out this top, I might as well draw the line there for you guys. If it just takes out this top, you got a lot of room to rally over there on AMD. So Jefferies liking a lot of the chip names this morning. It's really not a big deal. They pretty much upgraded a few of them. Just pick out AMD because they were the ones, even on the daily chart, that it pulled back. I want to say the further. Well, Intel's on its own, but of the good ones, they're the ones that have pulled back the furthest. And so any push to the upside can go really far percentage-wise when you consider the damage that was already done to AMD down around this 200-period moving average. So like that 152.5 right off the open.
All right, we got some more GameStop up in there. Nice to see Michael Noss there. I like that bull case there for gold, so that should be really good. Yeah, just long GameStop right now. Still waiting for NVIDIA to come through. We'll talk about Apple. We've got a whole bunch to go. Make sure you get our watch list.tradertv.live as we continue to watch a lot of these names. A name that's on the watch list, and that's in my long-term account, we've talked about this a couple times, Alibaba with a nice break today, again above 80. So we really like this name. It's starting to go higher and higher and higher here. So far so good for Alibaba for those logs. You guys remember me pounding the table on this one at 71, 72 bucks. We talked about that over and over again. We definitely got into that, went up to 78, came back. We did not buy that most recent dip, which was the problem. But these levels into here, 71, 72, that kept holding. Now it looks like Alibaba's off to the races ahead of earnings this week. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, we had AMD written long, 150 on the other day as well. We lost on it on Thursday, I think it was, trying to get 152.
What happened with NVIDIA just now?
I don't know. Is NVIDIA doing something?
It just dropped. NVIDIA just dropped like $7 here, guys. Yeah, dropping through 900
I mean,
here.
the market's going too.
Market's starting to go, but this feels like it was NVIDIA.
Everyone's buying GameStop, that's why, I guess.
AMD just dropped as well a little bit, so yeah, I guess everyone likes the meme stocks and like the
9 o'clock. Yeah,
No,
Apple. I
obviously
mean,
something
Apple's
just
not
hit.
doing anything.
It looks like it's just the chips that are heading into the downside here, guys.
Well, I might want to buy this.
AMD and NVIDIA both popping, dropping a little bit here. The 900 level just got taken out. Probably ARM as well moving. The Q's only down a couple of points. So this is very chip related, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Let's. I mean, it just fell. NVIDIA fell into the sticky note is now out. Obviously, this falls into 900, but don't really know what's going on here. So we'll hold on. But a nice move down in some of these names here for the chip space. I guess watch out for 900.
Fed's commission. No. Financial juice.
Now, on a Monday, keep in mind few Fed speakers to watch out for today. We have this OpenAI event as well. Let's kick it off with a look at the market.
52.46, guys. That's where we ended up closing out on Friday. Just a smidge below that 50-point level. We're above it right now. So we're printing in the 57s, the overnight high, 52.61. So if we defend 52.50, let's look for that next level of resistance. I'm going to say it's at 52.75, owing to how we did in early April. If we give up 52.50, let's look at 52.25 as that level of support.
If you have not got that yet, make sure you do so. Go to the website, tradertv.live. That pop-up will appear. You just enter your email address, and then you get the watch list delivered right to your inbox every single morning. It's an AI meme stock kind of a day. Apple upside here to the tune of more than a full percent. Struggling with this 185.50 area, though, which if you zoom out back to last week, you'll see why. But yeah, this OpenAI event coming up this weekend, lots of talk over the weekend that Apple is going to announce that some sort of integration between the two, ChatGPT on the iPhone, which would be a big deal, obviously, for Apple, but also for Microsoft and OpenAI. So Google downside, worth noting.
No question about that, Brendo. So my hope is here that it manifests something into the version that we all wanted of Siri, the one that you can interact back and forth with. Because right now, when you do that with ChatGPT, you can actually have a conversation with the LLM. Let's see if that can translate into voice. We'll find out more information about that. But I got to recall that Google was also in talks with Apple to incorporate Gemini. So some conflicting reports coming out here, Brendo.
Yeah, lots of opinions on or from analysts on this as well, including the Forever Bowl Dan Ives coming out. Wedbush's Dan Ives saying he believes that this will open up many AI-based revenue opportunities for Apple. So about to take out the highs here, trying to at least, guys, for Apple.
Yeah, we were in NVIDIA there, and then it went all the way down and broke 900, and then it came right back up, and then we got the news about Chinese regulators tell local firms to buy fewer NVIDIA chips. Again, probably another BS China story. If you followed China stories with Apple, you got rinsed. If you followed again here, you'll probably get rinsed too. So, and I just said, you know what? If it's going to come back up and we can get out for flat, that's exactly what we'll do. So I'll consider that a win right there. Going long against 900, finding bad news, and then being able to watch it basically go all the way down here to rip right back up and to get out for flat. I was like, okay, we'll take that. All right, so the number one trade today on the sticky note is going to be Apple, right? So we were long this all last week. We love Apple. We've talked about this. We recently bought some sub 170. Debating getting out as we get a little bit closer to the, as for me, I like the stock. But for right now, we have Apple 184 written down here. I mean, that's going to be for, that's like my, all right, now let's get down to business level. But at the same time, I just think that there's too many positive catalysts heading into this conference, right? Here goes GameStop, by the way. We got more shares, by the way, there. We like the stock, But here we go. So we'll have to wait to see what happens now. I mean, that's probably, we could get out now and it might be the biggest trade. So we'll wait to see what happens. I don't want to get out at all. Apple right now, 185.50. Obviously, it's cruising to the north side. The markets also ran up here, so I'm going to be conservative. You have 184.50 right there as a level. I don't know what's going to happen early, but I do know that we have to buy dips into VWAP pretty much at all times today for Apple. I think Apple's going to beat the market, and I'm already bullish on the market. So as long as we can stay in and around VWAP, we'll see how it reacts to that. Apple could put you to sleep for a minute, but I like it. There's no breakout levels for me. We're already sort of here. So let's just play dips on Apple. It is the number one idea here on the sticky note. But, I mean, GME's number two. And GME's the only stock that we're in. And right now, welcome to the Dollar Club already right there on GameStop. I'm still going to hold for a little bit higher.
Yeah, GameStop
25.50, maybe I can get out of
20. I think 28 on the daily was like the next level to the upside. It's like 20 on the bottom, 28 even on the top side of GameStop. So its range could be huge. Still can't get AMC. I think what's happening is the locates are probably getting repriced because there's a lot of demand for shorts on these names for day traders. So they're probably adjusting the price of AMC shorts. So we're going to try and get those locates because I want to have them by the open. Apple, look, we were talking about this one, I guess, before we did the rundown, 185. It just has to hold on to this line at the open. It's already support pre-market. If it were to dip lower, I'll like every single even dollar, but the 183 would be that's the Alamo today on them. But I'm looking long in this bull flag on the daily that you got here on Apple. I don't want to be looking short on this name. It would have to be at like $190 before I'd be thinking about that short. If it fails 185, I think you're just going to have to be patient. If it can't hold on to that at the open, then don't stand in front of the moving, freight train or dropping, whatever you want to call it, falling knife. Just wait around. 184 was a resistance level right away at the open, and I like resistance into support, turning into support. So I look at that level first, then the previous close sits at 83. Like, it doesn't get any more simple than that. Like, every even dollar is a place to find a go zone. For Apple today, yeah, it's not that complicated.
All right, here's the other end of the spectrum here then for this open AI deal. Here's Google just made session lows right now, 164.50 downside in the pre-market. Microsoft not really doing a heck of a lot as far as price action is concerned compared to the other two, but it is higher to start things off.
Yeah, so widely anticipated here that we're going to get some Apple news at this event. But there's other things to talk about, guys. Altman was on the All In podcast last week, and he was pressed on when ChatGPT 5 is going to be available. He said they don't even know if they're going to call it that. And the timetable for its release, is really unknown at the moment. So a lot of unanswered questions about what is next from OpenAI. I'll definitely be all ears today.
Yeah, remember going back to Friday, we had this huge move up in Google, and that was on those comments from Sam Altman suggesting that today is definitely not about OpenAI or ChatGPT 5, and it's also not about anything search related. So into the close, we had the move higher on Friday. Here we are gapping lower on the Apple news.
Yeah, look, I mean,
that OpenAI, yeah.
Google's is
let's go.
It's like the weakest. It's the only thing down. Like, they're down 2.5%. Like, that's not fantastic for them, obviously. And I'm pretty bullish on the market. I think mostly along ideas, but it's going to be hard to ignore. 162 was a wipeout bottom when they essentially said, "Hey, by the way, Apple's not going to have that news like right away at the open or on Monday." When that got pulled back, 166 is where it was at, and 166 was support. Today, that looks like a resistance level on Google. But it's just, there's a good long opportunities out there. I feel like if this does try to go green, that's probably come way too far, and you don't want to fight it. So I think the 66 would be the only place I'm looking for a short. And I need some market weakness. If the market's weak, this would be the one I go to. But it wasn't at the top of my list to be shorting Google. Their event's going to be tomorrow. Not much to see in terms of Microsoft and levels. Didn't necessarily love anything I saw there. But it is trying to break out the 420 if you are watching. 415 doesn't look that bad either. Last week's resistance, dipping back in on Microsoft. Not a lot of bearish-looking chart ideas. Google's pretty much the only one out of that big cap tech that doesn't look all that great. And I guess Tesla, but I almost don't count Tesla these days.
No, I mean, I really like trading Tesla. We've done pretty good on Tesla, but you know what? We just did pretty good on right now. You got to ring the register right here. There's $1 and change. We just got, again, we're in it 3 times now. So we already talked about this possibly being a big trade down here, let alone now we've added more shares. So we'll have to take something out. It just came back right up to the top. It's already been up here. The volume's fine. It's not, the thing about this is the volume's not really picking up right now. But here it goes again. Let's go. I mean, I didn't look at Google or at Microsoft today. I'm too bullish. I wrote it down. I mean, the word bullish is on the top of this. I don't really want to look at Google if it's going to be down here. So we'll hold off on my Google thought and just transfer it all over to stocks that are moving in a direction that I want to play with, right? So right now, all my attention is pretty much on GameStop. So I do have ARM is trade idea on here as well. So when we get to that, I'll have a little bit to say about ARM.
Get 3 days in a row here up nicely in the pre-market, actually testing highs right now for ARM on this. $64 billion investment coming from SoftBank. Yeah, AI chips to come. This part is pretty interesting, as soon as next year from ARM.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, so looking for the prototype in mid-2025 and then actual production by the end of the year. You'll know that ARM is specifically designing chips that work better with mobile devices because they take less energy. So this is going to be really good if they get into the AI side of things. We'll have to see exactly how they do. They are also, Brendo, looking to build out chips for data centers as well as mobile. So
yeah, this is clearly SoftBank's move into the AI realm. I don't think there is an OTC listing for SoftBank. It's over in Japan, but wild stock if anyone wants to pull up the chart of SoftBank as well.
So I'm pretty familiar with it. It's SFTBY. So there is one in OTC, but it's just to give you guys the reference here. Brendan's right. I mean, the volume, it's not huge in this, but there is an ADR. So this is SFTBY. So you can have a look at that. I'm not expecting too much, but we have ARM written down here. And again, the thing about ARM is it's been really well received off earnings. So in order to defend that, it's like, why not? I mean, this level of breakout of 110 seems to be real, and now you're getting more news. We talked about some AI positivity today other than Google. There's an OpenAI event. ARM's in the right space. We know all about them. And yeah, I mean, breaking through this $110 level seems to be pretty good to me. I wrote down here, and again, remember, I'm writing this when we're at 112. Now we're all the way up at 114. So we talked about trying to get into 110 again. So if it does that, and you're trading ARM, it's a pretty must long area. I mean, it's just, the levels there on the daily, we had that breakout right now. So yeah, I mean, if we were under here, it would be a smash long. So now that we're above it, it's a dip long. So that's, those are the ideas there for me on ARM. And again, we did already take that dollar on GME.
Yeah, when I sat down, I was pretty convinced we'd get the 110. Because it was only at that 112. And then on top of that, like you have NVIDIA go to the downside and ARM it doesn't blink. Now, obviously, it's a very specific thing, like China to NVIDIA at the end of the day. But it didn't do anything with regards to ARM. Like it dipped down like maybe 60 or 70 cents. So I don't know if we'll get that 110, but 112 on ARM. If you go all the way back to when it failed 110 on the way down, there was 112 pretty much in the middle of the day that was resistance. It would have been right on this day here, April 18th. On the way down, 112 was kind of like a resistance level in there. So I feel like going back into that level can work at the open if you're going to go dip buy hunting. So those are the two places. It makes it pretty easy. 110, 112 where the players dwell. Obviously, AMD and NVIDIA, that news kind of changes things for them, but it doesn't look like it's changed anything for ARM, so that stays along.
It'll be long NVIDIA.
English. Wow. We'll talk about semiconductors here to the upside this morning, including, Jefferies with a positive note for the entire group, as we saw on the upgrades and downgrades board this morning. With that flush, though, from that NVIDIA headline, all of these, AMD back to flat here, NVIDIA basically the same.
Yeah, Jeffrey's giving the nod to almost every single microchip semiconductor name, for the exception of a couple. They had Intel on hold, not buy or outperform, as well as AMAT. You saw that on the upgrades and downgrades today with Adara. They got the downgrade, so not a good look here for Applied Materials.
We are brought to you by our friends over at Blue Chew. Guys, remember the good old days when you were always ready to go? Well, those days don't have to be over. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in convenient chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today. BlueChew.com. Use the promo code TraderTV. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers and you'll receive your prescription discreetly delivered to your door within days. No awkward doctor's visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Try Blue Chew for free. Pay $5 shipping. BlueChew.com. Use promo code TraderTV.
Yes, sir. And look, the chip names, it is what it is. Like that news on NVIDIA. I was just like checking out Zeekr, by the way, which is, it's making moves, but I went to look at the volume on that new IPO. New IPOs are always pretty low volume, but that's not great on that Zeekr. I think it's going to be a tricky one, especially in the pre-market. I wouldn't want to touch ZK. But NVIDIA, so far, it looks like they're not caring too much about the China news. You're down slightly from where we were. It was 1% up, and we're trading just in front of that 910 level, and you're back into the 905. So I think it gets put to the test. I mean, at the end of the day, it was, can it set up a breakout above 910 anyways for NVIDIA? And that's essentially where we're still right back to. So I think you just got to go right back to that. Well, it looks like it's held the 900 for now. You're a little more cautious, I think, here. Like, I already liked ARM. ARM doesn't have the bad news that you just got going on out of China there. You have to worry about with NVIDIA. And I would say this does change AMD's outlook a little bit here, as that's not recovering the same way that NVIDIA did. So NVIDIA pretty much right back to where it was. AMD holding down and around those lows. So I think they might actually be in a little bit of a penalty box. It was specific to NVIDIA news, but this isn't getting bought up as much. So all of a sudden, I don't really like AMD as much as I'm going to like ARM and NVIDIA here today, unfortunately, because AMD probably had the easier looking breakout level, but the fact that they're not buying this back up the same way, makes me want to be at least at a minimum patient with it. You got to be able to react to the news and the way the stock's reacting to the news.
Yeah, we had NVIDIA written down here as 900 on the sticky note, and this doesn't even require really too much talk. Simple and easy, buy dips into 900. So that's exactly what we did, and then that news happened, and then I considered myself lucky to get out. So not lucky P&L wise, because it's now a $5 winner, but at the same time, well, $4.50. But at the same time, I feel like that's proper risk management when news like that hits. So we'll be sad about NVIDIA for now, and we will change our mind about buying that 900 dip, because now that there's that news there, although we did hold, it's just not really worth seeing the market reaction. There's so many other things to trade. I mean, you can see right now what's happening. So we're still in love with this GameStop position, and we're going to wait to see what happens here as it now takes out brand new. I mean, we have things for this one right now. It's called A, making money, and B, we get to go to the moon right here and see what happens now with AMC as well, as there goes GME right now, brand new. Congratulations, everybody. This was the very first trade. I sat down, punched the keys, we went live, looked at GameStop, boom. So we're in this one from 8:30. Not only are we in it once, we're in it thrice. So let's see now what happens here with GameStop going higher and higher. Like 10% in the, well, we're long at 20. So yeah, almost $2 on 24. So 8% or so in the money on this position and looking to go a lot higher. I said already when we first went in this is probably going to be the trade. So now let's just see. We're in it. You can get out if you want to now. We'd already be having probably one of these kind of days, the trophy day, but we're gonna wait to see if we can have multiple trophies on board. Thank you, Randy.
Thanks,
I did already have a banana, but potassium is definitely
It's important.
fantastic.
I went with the tangerine myself.
Yeah.
We have fresh fruit now with the office.
Yeah,
well, we
yeah,
always
yeah.
we always had the
we
we always
brought it
had
back.
it,
But I will take some more coffee if you have a possibility for doing that.
yes, please.
Cheers,
Appreciate it,
my
brother.
guy. All right.
All done.
There we go, man. Yeah, Michelle Hebert says, be greedy. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to be. And that's why, like, we're here to trade these names. We've seen it before. Like, it's experience. Hopefully, many of us, just a couple of years ago, had seen moves like this. And we've seen it with Carvana. We've seen it with a lot of names happening here. So, you know, we're pretty familiar with it. We'll just sit here and do what we do best. So, back over to the desk.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about when it comes to this, but let's touch on it real quick. If you missed it, what a difference a image makes, I guess. For Roaring Kitty back on social media for the first time since 2021 has not only GME taking out the highs right now, but all of these former meme stocks upside in a big way here.
Yeah, DJT, KOSS, AMC, keep your eyes on those names as well. We know Carvana, W also can go. These are all some of the meme names here, but GameStop was running before Roaring Kitty mentioned it or came back on X. Now I think GameStop is up 60% on the month of May, Brendo, with a good last couple of weeks.
Just checking trade ideas here. Yeah, trade ideas saying 24% still short on GME, guys.
Is that a mustache on Sharif? I wasn't sure what was happening over there. Okay, okay.
Stash.
I see it. But it's not November. No, okay, it's not November. All right, all right.
Well, he's maybe growing it into
Yes,
November.
yes, very smart, very smart.
You got to have one.
Yeah, yeah, because Sharif needs to wait like 5 months to grow a mustache. Come on, Neil. I mean, that's like a Friday shave.
I'm just speculating.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just speculating.
GameStop, by the way, now.
But it can't be up 60% since whenever he said it. If it's up 50% today, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So, like, yeah. It doesn't,
It's beginning of May, it was $10. So it's up
that's
300%.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's up significantly more than that is GameStop. You got to pull out a weekly chart if you want to find the next bag hold breakout
Here we
level.
go.
Because that's at $28, I think it was. $28. Or I call it like 27, 28. This little wick in here on the weekly chart is 27.70, and then in here resisted like $28. So that looks like it's going to be the line in the sand. I have a theory about AMC shorts in that we might not get them until the market opens up. I don't like chasing these. My Alamo's $20 on this stock today, so I needed something within 10% of that. So that would be the $22 level. I do think usually when this happens, you get a pullback at the open. And now that we're so far away from 20, the only level is this 22.5. So you got 22.5. These are dark pool wicks. Who cares about those? 22.5 was support, and then the 20 levels of breakout. If there is a pullback and I have locates on AMC, that's the stock that I want to be short. There's your top there, like 375. As long as it hasn't broken that, if there's any significant dip on GameStop, I'd go over to AMC. But as yet, don't even have locates on that name at all.
Okay, we sat down here, the cameras turned on, and I just punched long, just so everybody would be able to see that we're going long on GME. And that's exactly what happened. I woke up, I saw the headline, I tweeted it out myself. There you go. You know, you talk about coming in, you know, planning your day, having a plan of action. We want to be long GameStop. We're not doing anything else. What's the point to look anywhere else for now for me? So we're going to stay long on GameStop. And you know what? We already got a piece out here at 25.30. It just went to 26.50. I mean, where this name could stop, it's kind of stupid to look at charts, to be honest with you, right now. I mean, unless you're going to play pullbacks and stuff like that, because like where could we go? I mean, that's 31.30. Right here is 28. So I mean, I guess I shouldn't. You know, 28 could be a level. So that's one thing, you know. But then what I'm saying is, like, if you take out a piece there, I mean, if it breaks 28, then I would say you're going to 30, right? And then after that, I mean, that wick high on this one day, whatever was going on here back in October 2022, that ripped up to 35 on a 30 break. So it still closed lower. So the thing is like, I would guess 28. I'm actually at 30 right now. So let's wait to see. I think we could get to 30 maybe right off the open and then a potential pullback. So here we go, man.
Not everyone can buy yet. That's the thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, it could be absolutely a moonshot even from here. And we're already $2 in the money. So there you go. Could be the trade of the day already, Neil.
Yes, sir. And the thing about the meme stocks is that's how they roll. Like the intention's going to be on them when it deserves to be. Like it started last week, and I think it's continuing in here.
You know, the thing about Brendan is, in the last 5 years, he got 5 years younger.
Well, Brendan somehow manages to not age, and he gets the fresh haircut every single day. It seems like he's got the nice fade going pretty much at all times. Let's go on to the best stash in the business.
There must be some nice freedom and wealth over there.
It must be. Let's see. Go back to the desk and see what the stash is saying.
All right, guys, we are doing moving average crossovers all week at Dara and I on the midday, so make sure to catch that. Today we're going to be talking about moving average crossovers and trend identifications on how to trade at 11.
Check it out.
The good point there, Fabian in my ear just mentioning, is Reddit moving? Reddit is absolutely moving on this. It's just, look, Reddit's not going to percentage-wise move as much as GameStop. If that happens, we have another thing coming.
Off.
No, we have 100%. But GameStop, just to give you an idea, GameStop's done 13 million shares traded, at least on my count. AMC's done 11 million shares traded. Reddit's up 6%. It's traded 200,000 shares pre-market. 200,000 shares. And the spread is 80 cents if you're looking to trade a full board lot, 100 shares. 80-cent spread on Reddit on 200,000 shares volume. Maybe not the place where I'd be trading, and certainly not the place to trade in the pre-market, and just be a little bit careful with that. Like, that's very illiquid. When it opens, I know it trades a heck of a lot better, but it is moving up on sympathy as well. The only reason I keep saying AMC for fade trade is there's probably actual buyers of Reddit that want to own Reddit for Reddit. And I think that gives it a little bit more staying power, and bids will be in there if it does dip. So Reddit's going to be I think it's going to be in play today, and as long as this is a story, remember this is where everything sort of started for Wall Street Bets and Roaring Kitty was posts specifically on Reddit. Adara?
Getting some comments in here from Fed's Jefferson saying that inflation is a concern, that we need to look for more evidence that inflation is subsiding and that it is appropriate to keep the policy rate restrictive until it's clear that inflation is ebbing. So just some comments here from Fed's Jefferson echoing a lot of what we heard last week, that inflation is still a problem. There needs to be more signs of it going down, guys.
Yay, Jefferson. It doesn't matter today, Jefferson.
Shut your mouth.
Not today. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, when the meme stocks are going up, it probably doesn't always matter that much when you're trading, because you're going to have vehicles to the left of them and to the right of them. Whether or not the chips can hold up, the NASDAQ just took out fresh highs there. We haven't looked at the imbalances, but overall, like you said, the NASDAQ just took out fresh highs, so it does want to go. AMC's a buy imbalance of 1 million shares. Alibaba, we didn't mention Baba. Get to Baba in a second. 500,000 to the buy side on Alibaba. Those are the two ones that actually mean anything, although 1 million shares on AMC isn't a heck of a lot, obviously. NVIDIA's right back into the high of the day. So what China news? They almost didn't care. Alibaba is up 3.5%, Tencent reported. Some economic data out of China as well. Baba, I want it back into the previous resistance. That goes to Monday of last week and then Friday of the week before, where you get this 81.5 zone. Baba looking pretty strong here, looking to buy that one on some dips. But it is absolutely the NASDAQ pouring in here. Just double checking, NVIDIA still can't get those locates. I feel like the second the market opens up, we'll be able to get locates because they're probably just looking to price it once you have a little bit of an open. I'm expecting a dip right off the bat on GameStop. I thought it would be from 23 into that 22 and we get some 21s. Now all of a sudden VWAP's all the way up at 24. So I think that's what you have to play into. I know NEO's moving, but our attention's going to be elsewhere at the open. I'd rather be in Alibaba, so I'm choosing a Chinese stock at least.
Okay, so 1 minute to U.S. market opens. We do have, of course, Alibaba's on the sticky note for a long, so we're bidding 82, of course. ARM is there for a long, so we're bidding down where we need to bid on this one, 110. Nvidia's at 900. I'm not doing anything with that. And then the other one that we're going to be looking at is going to be Apple. But I'm all eyes on Tupac and all eyes on GME right now because it is starting to get to the highs of the morning one more time, up at 26.50. So I mean, anywhere else right off the open for me will probably not exist. AMC with a big bid as well. All you had to do was go along this name. A lot of easy, kind of simple trades so far this morning. Doesn't mean it's going to last that way. So have your stops, get them ready to go on all of these names. So here we go, man. I mean, I'm not getting out of GME till it breaks like 22-ish. So we'll wait to see what happens down there. Crazy amount of call action and put action expected in the pits there for options with some of these names today. So if that's your bread, get ready to have it buttered. What's up, Adara? Here we go with only 3 or 4 seconds left. 2 and 1. Good luck, everybody. It should be a good day. And yeah, the market's now open, so we'll kick the door in and see what happens.
Exactly, kicking it down. Apple not really doing anything. Nvidia making a move into the downside. GameStop's just holding fort a little bit here, about to break higher. Where are you, AMC? AMC, I knew this was going to happen. It is what it is. AMC's starting to dip, even with GameStop continuing to go. We don't have locates. I couldn't have made that play regardless. ARM is starting to come back in. So if you're looking for a dip buy on ARM, the market is pulling back, and ARM now down to 112. So this is at least a possibility for an initial move into the downside. Yeah, the Q's starting to pull back. I mean, we're still up 0.3%, but the Q's with a small pullback at the open so far.
Yeah, and yeah, GME actually didn't go at all early. It stopped. It got right to its highs of 26.50, and now here comes the pullback in for everything. I mean, the market's pulling a little bit, but I mean, it's only a couple handles. There comes GameStop. Oh, it looks like it's going to halt right now. So there goes GameStop. Looks like it's trying to halt.
Nope, fake halt.
Nope, fake halt. It was trying, and then someone must have bought that through. There we go. Nice move back up to the upside here. Let's see what does happen with GameStop. Tried to halt there, could not, and then now it gets ripped up back up to the top side now. As there it goes. We'll see. So that was that halt band in around 25.75 there, but now we have to reset it. So now we'll wait to see what happens. Not a great morning, honestly, if you're a GameStop bull because it's only going down. So, or if you, maybe it's a great morning if you're trying to dip buy it. Apple, Baba did a little bit of a dance back in on that move, but we should have probably looked at view up a little bit closer, 82.75. That's not bad. We could try that, but here's another pullback in right now for Alibaba. So I'm going to stay patient with some of this and wait for my 82. And then Neil mentioned ARM. Let me just.
ARM's at 12.
It's
not really down far enough. We liked it at 110.
Not super.
Like this is one of those weird ones. It was dipping. It looked like we were going to get some weakness that we're hoping to buy into, but not a heck of a lot digging into there. GameStop's still going higher. I'm going to try and get those locates on AMC, but got to give myself a moment because just guess what just happened on Apple. Like Apple wicked that 185 by like 15 cents. And then back in higher. So it looks like that first level on Apple was the right one, and they're at 185. Looks like a pretty decent one. But like I said, I wanted to be short AMC if GameStop went down, so I got to go see if I can get those locates again. I'm sure we can get them now it's open.
Oh, yeah. Everything's starting to pull back in right now anyways. So like GameStop just tried to get back through 26 and could not again there on that halt. We've sort of talked about all of this again. So you want to look for like other names potentially that were like this, and BlackBerry could be one of those names as well, as now that is starting to go up 6%. So again, maybe just looking for different names. BlackBerry was one. There was, what was there? The Sound.
SOUN.
But I know that's an AI name.
No, SOUN is.
Let me just see.
It just pumped here.
It? Really?
Yeah, it just.
Okay.
So look at the wick. It just came down into 5 and then broke back out. This is usually like, this is a squeeze name and it's adjacent to NVIDIA. Okay, this is going to start going out of nowhere. Still can't get AMC. Okay, all right.
Really?
I guess they're still trying to figure out getting some locates on that name, so I had to be really patient with it.
That's funny that Scott mentioned that.
But SOUN looks really good here. What a dip and rip off that 5 level. So 530, 533. ARM's still nowhere near the dip buy that we like. 533 on SUN looks good. Let me just double check on Alibaba. You always want to stick to the names that are in your plan. Baba's nowhere near that dip zone. So it's doing absolutely nothing. With Pinduoduo flying, do I want Alibaba with a failed break of the low of the day and then taking out the top. All right, I guess that's what's setting up first as it starts to go. Let's go to Adara.
Novavax picking up here. This is actually a day 2 play. This one initially trading higher off of earnings and also announcing a co-exclusive licensing agreement for COVID-19 vaccine with Sanofi. Right now, NVAX up about 15%, short float of 32%, guys.
I'm going to take a little bit of a breakout here that I didn't really have on the radar. By the way, GameStop battled all the way back. It dipped. I was waiting at 24.50 or so. It got to 24.70, I think, and then now it's up another dollar right there. A little bit of an undercover play here that we hadn't written down, just because I was surprised at what's happening with it. There's a lot of spread, and it's really moving quite quickly here, Disney. So I'm not exactly 100% sure what's happening with Disney right now, but there's definitely some action here. And then when I looked at what it looks like on the daily sort of, and it's more like this 20, I think if we can get above this 106.50 area, which is what I just punched long, then I think we could break higher here. So let's just see if Disney's having some ways off of their earnings, and then back up to the upside right now for Disney. Trying to respect maybe VWAP, but that's like at 106.20. So like we'll have to look at like a 106 break. It's a pretty active name here, DIS. And by the way, there's GameStop back through highs and now flying back through $27 right now. It's going to halt up. It's a halt up right now on GameStop, baby. So let's go. We're sitting there right now. Fake halt. It's going back now up to the upside. I'm going to put my offer.
No, it's going to
Now it's going to fake down. I don't know what it's going to do. I'm all fine with this. We're stuck at 30. We're going to wait for $30 on that name and see what happens there. So what's up, Adara?
This isn't massive, but I did find something on Disney. Macquarie raising its price target for the stock from 104 to 107. So pretty small price target increase, but positive note there for DIS heading into the day, guys.
Thank you very much there, Adara, for that Disney news. Sounds pulling back. We got the break on Alibaba. That one's headed toward the 84. I went into the halt trade on GameStop. It obviously did a fake halt the first time through. What that means is it got to the halt band and then actually printed lower before 15 seconds was up. It went down, came back up, and then did halt at 26.89. Currently, the tap is essentially flat, but it's a New York stock. We don't usually get those updates. It's always closer to that 5 minutes when it starts to matter on GME. As always, usually for this play, I'm going to get out half or at least a third at that open, and then see where it goes. AM's, while this is halted, remember, other names, meme names, are going to still be open. Like AMC is actually taking out the high, so you can sympathy play this as AMC is trying to go higher on that halt of GME. Still nothing on NVIDIA. It's absolutely in the middle of the range and doing nothing. ARM, it did not dip down into 110. You're just chilling out here at 112. Now ARM wants to take out the top at 115. I took a breakout when the dip didn't happen in AMC, and now, sorry, not AMC, in Alibaba, and now it looks like the same thing in ARM is going to happen here with a 115 break.
Here we go. I'm going to tweet out our link to the show and tweet it at Roaring Kitty. So he can come over here and watch the show along with us, because that's what we're doing. We're trading right now and we're in this, baby. We are now in this one. That's right. Thank you so much, Fabian, for that one. We're now $3 in the money now on GameStop, and we're going to wait to see where we can go on this one. Hopefully even further and further and further. Just on this trade, it's been a monster day. So what's up, A?
Some other names with higher short floats and or meme kind of attention moving right now. We have Reddit, RDDT, up about 11%. They have a 2.6% short float. We also have Upstart, UPST, up about 8% here, 27% short float. So lots of heavily shorted and or more meme-like names to look at, guys.
Yeah. UPST, I mean, that's kind of like a low-key new one in there, but 8% in. I think any of these names, I'm going to pivot away from AMC if we can't get locates, but any of these sympathy names, if GameStop starts coming down, you go over to those. Like GameStop is the one that started all of this. So if Upstart fails at resistance of like 28 or 29 bucks and GameStop is starting to pull back, this is the name to go over to. We have locates. Oh, no, well, we're all going to get some locates on Upstart as well. You know what? They're probably all going to be harder to borrow. And GameStop will be open in about 2 minutes or so. NVIDIA's starting to make a rally. So finally, NVIDIA is getting off the schneid again, trying to push through. No 9-10 break just yet on NVIDIA. Apparently, Tesla's also making some new highs. But you know, NVIDIA is one we wanted on a dip, and then a breakout if it can take out that 910. Starting to go here on NVIDIA. BOVESPA still chilling out, looking pretty solid, trying to make a run at that $84 level. I'm on the bid at 83 as well, trying to catch an open, trying to catch a pullback into VWAP on Alibaba. But the market itself, I know the memes are going up, but the market itself is pulling back in here. Like, the market's actually a little bit weak off this open. Looks like it's Apple's fault.
Yeah, for sure.
There we go.
We're just waiting for GameStop to open back up. And honestly, like, whatever. Apple's flat right now, so I don't really know
Google's weak, maybe.
what's happening right there. So we'll wait for that one. Tesla is the one that's starting to go. I don't know if we had a story on Tesla there or not as well, but that one's really starting to go up now, up that 2%. But honestly, man, I mean, I'm just waiting for this. So GameStop right now should be open it's 9:35:46. So 1 minute, we will get an open here on GameStop, exactly 1 minute, and then that should be fun. So let's see what happens there. We are trying to buy some more Disney. Again, it's just a price target increase here today. So not a big one. Derek came with that story. Thought maybe it was going to be something more just based on the way that it was moving. But again, trying to play relative strength, right? Just realizing that VWAP is right here, but we should still get our, where was I bidding? 12s? All right, because VWAP's moved up now. So just watch out for like a 106 break. I mean, I think we're going to try to hold this maybe a little bit lower in through a break of like this 105.80. So let's just put our stop there now in case it does go down to the downside. I mean, it sounds silly to say, oh man, we're going to lose like a certain amount. All right, we just got it. GameStop's about to open. Oh, GameStop did not. It is going to open. I think it's supposed to be right
10
now
seconds,
in a couple
10
seconds. So let's watch out for that.
Yeah, you're right. There was we still have a couple of seconds to go here on GameStop. We should open right about now. It should be any second now. There it goes. Ends up opening 27 something, and now you're getting a move into 28. 28 is that big level on the daily chart. So it needs to hold on to, I think, 26.5. If you're playing a breakout level, 28 is that big level on the daily. After that, I think it was what, like 35 or something like that is going to be the play. So as long as it holds on to the halt band, I think all roads lead to at least that $30 level. If it halts again, we'll check it out. But if I'm playing a halt price, then I want it back into the previous halt is going to be the out. It's a very different trade from buying dips, in my opinion, and then just kind of let it ride.
Yeah, we're now $4 in the money. So I still have an offer at $29.75, which I said we would put out there when the stock was at $23. So here we go. I mean, we can almost take some out right now. This has just been a monster. So I don't really feel like there's any reason why this one might not continue. I'm going to get a piece out if I can at 29 in case it's going. And there it is. So there it is right there, guys. We talked about this being the trade of the day at 8:30. And there it is right now. It's 9:41. So there's another out for us just ahead of 30 now on GameStop. So, I mean, if you're here for trading, real trading, this is exactly what you guys want. This is the meme stock. This is buying dips. This is buying it off the halts. This is doing all of that. And it's going to halt again. So there we go, baby. Nice trading on GameStop. We knew this was going to be it. We woke up. We saw Roaring Kitty. We tweeted it out. It's halted again, Neil. This is exactly what we're talking about. It's a monster. Neil, we're $5 in the money over here. This is a big day. Yeah, you had...
No,
you were brave to take the halt.
The halt trade is a very different trade because the way I see it, if that trade fails, you could be back at like $23. So it's always the same thing. A third out wherever it opens, some out on the first push. I ended up, the second it tagged in the 29, I'm like, put the trail in because 30 is a level and then let it go. I didn't take the halt up here a second time. I just feel like taking it when it's halted at 29.50, like let it do at least one pullback before making another move in there. As did I hear we're going to Adara? Yeah, let's go to Adara. This is the point where I got to get some locates on AMC because as far as I'm concerned, like, this is a GameStop thing. I don't think AMC deserves a lot of what's happening to it, but let's go to Adara.
Some other names grinding higher here, including Chinese ADR specifically. I know Neil here involved in Alibaba, but we also have Billy up about 8% for BILI, as well as JD.com. JD is the ticker for this one. JD also reporting on Thursday before market open. So keep an eye on all these Chinese ADRs hot right now, guys.
That's why the market's down. Oh, look at what's happening to Meta here.
Is it getting killed?
So look, you got at least 5 minutes to go station to station on GameStop, so you breathe a little bit. The other meme stocks are all open when this is happening, so you can look at them. But the overall market, which we're kind of ignoring, Meta down 2%. Don't really know why. Doesn't really matter why at the end of the day. But let's let this one calm down. Don't really know what's going on here. I liked the 470 level previously. But like, let's be real, that would have been a support level from Friday. Now that it's chewed through it, I guess maybe short that on the way back through. But Nvidia's underneath 900. Meta's absolutely dying here. So it's a meme stock kind of day. I feel like if you're looking for longs, that's the place to go. AMC's now up 25%. And it's still running. Remember, this is still going to be open. They haven't halted this sucker once. It's right at that high from April, from late April at 375. If GameStop opens up and actually moves down after that halt, this is the one I wanted to play a pullback on. Just can't short it yet. I still feel like they're trying to figure out pricing on the locates here. And I'm still in Alibaba. I want 84s in here. It just can't seem to get to 84 yet. I feel like that's going to happen any second now, or any minute now, I should say. So one little push, break the 84, and then I trail this back through the 84 level on Alibaba. Up 5%. Doing really well. Back above that 200 period, Alibaba. Now you just have to hold that 200 this week is the next step.
Yeah, we like the Alibaba there. Good trade on that
How are we
one.
not?
How high did Alibaba going? Okay, so still, yeah, 84, great on that. So I was going to look at Robinhood. I just wanted to double check what the exposure on the short side was of this name, because this could be one that goes. They reported, just loading up the trade ideas scanner right now. They reported and, had come back in from 19 right there. So let me just check out what is happening here on Robinhood. So GME's in halted state right now. So there's nothing to do until it opens. Nvidia's tanking still? Okay. Short float. Oh, it's only 7%. All right, there'll probably be bigger fish to fry, but something to look at for sure. We did get a piece out there. Oh, that's Disney, sorry, right there. We did get a piece of Disney out near that view up of 20s, only 20. So we took a 20-cent hit there because it's not reacting and the market's going downside right now. So as Neil mentioned, maybe Meta pulling back a little bit. It's too bad that we missed a real long in Meta like a long time ago. Rivian is up.
It's squeezes that are all to the upside, right? Like you just sort of pick your poison.
Yeah, without them, there's
anything with a short float right now just seems like it wants to make a rally. Now remember, there's some hedge funds out there that are not just going to lean on one stock. Like it can be an overall strategy where they just sort of pick on the worst companies in their opinion, and they have shorts on all of them. So if you do have some covering in adjacent names, some of it might be, hey, they're covering because they have to. Others will be, we're covering it because they want to load up on something else. So Rivian, not quite. That's not a big breakout. No, that's not significant enough on Rivian that I think it could go that much further. This Meta is kind of crazy. I now have my trail in underneath 84 in Alibaba, and we'll just kind of let this one ride. We rang the register once at the $0.50, but wow. I just keep hearing Sharif even saying, wow, Meta. So the memes go up.
Takes a lot to impress that guy,
No, I know. The memes go up, and Meta's still falling. It's at 465 here.
I like when you're impressed with
461. I mean, like that was last week's bottom. I guess that's something here on Meta. I want to look to grab a dip buy in the stock. I'm not going to lie. There's nothing really going on here. It's almost 10 o'clock. That would be the point where you usually get some good levels. And GameStop just opened.
Oh, yeah. GameStop right now, 30. So there you go, man. It is a bang, 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 bang. And right now, because there comes the cash cow. He is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. There it goes. A nice move up to $30, $31. Man, GameStop, come on. Why you have to do this to my voice? 30, 31. We're still going. Guys, we're long at $24 here. There goes GameStop. A nice move back up to the upside as we continue to go higher and higher and higher. Right now, there goes GME through 31 and then a pullback. So, I mean, there's a flush. So nice little flush there on GameStop. Back in, it hits 31. Now it's going to halt downside. Watch out for GameStop potentially halting back to the downside. Man, this is fun. GameStop going to halt in a matter of seconds.
Can't short
unless, it goes. There it goes the other way. Right now, back up to the upside goes GameStop. So halt, net pop.